Yes, my people. Welcome to episode 27 of your sneaker and lifestyle podcast, Kicks Chronicles. I'm your boy PROZECH. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. And also thank you for all of those that managed to listen to our most recent episode with the First Lady of the SWO, Shay Cray. Yeah, thank you for all the positive comments and everything. Really does help. All the likes, all the comments, and all the subs. And while I'm on all of those things, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, especially if this is the first time you're here. And also, if you're listening to this, right, 5-star reviews, yeah, man, they're really cool. They're all the rage. Yeah, feel free to leave a 5-star review. I'd really appreciate it. Apologies. There's a lighting issue going on behind me. All the lights are off in my room right now, in my office. I've got the blind down and the sun is still sunning, yeah. And this is one of the issues you have with white walls. So yeah, it's long. So yeah, please bear with me. The actual interview isn't like this. So throw on some shades and let's keep it moving. By the way, my name's PROZECH. I'm PROZECH on all social media. If you ever want to holler at me, just holler. Just holler. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok as well. Big fan of TikTok right now. So feel free to holler at me. I'll always shout back. So our guest this week is Alex Mullins from SNEAK SPPLY. Now, SNEAK SPPLY are a sneaker care company based in the north of England, Hartlepool to be exact. I met him at Creps in London a few months ago, and he told me about his business. He told me about what he was doing, about producing the various different products. And I thought, I love business, and obviously the business of kicks is super interesting to me. So I thought he'd be an amazing guest to have on the podcast. Some of you probably would have seen in some of our previous episodes, I've had this model on my shelf. Still in the process of like figuring out how I'm going to do things with moving into this sort of sneaker crate rail. But this is the actual V1. This is the V1 model. And now over my shoulder, you can see, if the light will allow you to see it, the V2 model, which actually has an LED light in it as well, which is pretty awesome. You know what? As this is his episode, I figured, you know what? Let's do a little review. Let's do a little review of the sneaker crates. He's not going to see this beforehand, yeah? And this is not sponsored. Spoiler alert, it's a decent product. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth us giving it a quick review. So yeah, I'll throw up a video on screen of me putting it together. I'll putting together the V2. Packaging's really good. It's really good packaging. Really clear. The instructions come on the back. Instructions are really easy to follow. Literally took me like 5 minutes to put the thing together, maybe even less than that. I can't actually remember. All you need is one of these, which is like the power cable, to connect to one, and you put that into your power source, and that actually will power 10 V2 crates, which is actually amazing. So you can turn them all off and all on at the flick of a switch. Cable is $3.99, so really cheap for the cable. The V1, which is this, it's £35. You get two in there, so £35 you get two. The more you order, the more like discounts you get, apparently. For the V2, which is the one with the light, those are £40. Okay, so they're £40 each. So yeah, all in all, pretty good, cost effective, in line with the market in terms of how much it costs. Came really well packaged, just super clean, space saving, and I'm a size 12, size US 13. These easily fit my shoes inside, like you can see, like, and there's a little bit of space at the top. And if I was to remove that shelf, I could probably stack like 3 or 4 up there. And that might be what I end up doing, because I do like the shelving, because I can obviously put other things in it. But for the time being, we'll stick with the one. Guys, let me know in the comments below whether you prefer the V1s, the V1s, which is like the one without a light, right? Or the V2, which is the one with the LED. You get me? And apparently they've done all kinds of testing to make sure that the LED doesn't affect the shoe negatively, which is really important. So let's get to the rating now. You get me? This is a review. What's a review without a rating? You all know my rating scale. My rating scale is real simple. Cop that stop that or shut that. I'm definitely saying these are a cop that. Really well made product, came really, really quickly, pause, and really well packaged, easy to put together, decent price, in line with the market. Can't really go wrong. Let's talk about the interview a bit more. So guys, you know at Kids Chronicles, we're all about sneaker connections. We love a good collection, but the focus of my heart is how deep a person's connection is to the culture. And not many people come more connected to the culture than Alex Mullins. Yeah, we talk about his sneaker history, love for the Air Max 90. Let me tell you, yeah, this was one of my favorite interviews. And the specific section I loved the most was the EST of KIC. That's the section where we kind of talk about his collection a little bit and kind of get into sort of what he's got most recently, what his oldest shoes are, what his newest shoes are, what his best shoes are, blah, blah, blah. In that section, I asked him what his oldest pair of shoes were. And they are literally one of the rarest pair of shoes I've ever heard. When I saw it, I was like, wow. That is literal history. You get me? And for anybody that loves grime, anybody that that follows the artist associated with that genre of music, you're definitely gonna want to stick around to hear what his oldest pair of kicks is, because yeah, that's a collaboration with Nike and a legendary MC in the game. And I'm not talking Skepta. Yeah, I'm not talking Skepta. Because we know about Skepta. Skepta's 97s we know about. This one's a little bit, it's not as out there, but super cool. Really, really, really cool. Another thing, this was just an amazing interview in my opinion. He took the first things I saw when I went to his booth at Creps is that he had cased the Air Yeezy 2s, right, in pure platinum. And I was like, bro, the Air Yeezy 2 is my grail. Yeah, whether it be the Red October, like originally it was like the Red October. No, it's not the Red October anymore. It's the Red October, it's the Solar, and it's the Platinum. Like any one of those three, and all of those three. But when it's all said and done, I'll have them all. Trust me, right? But that being said, bro, he's got the pure platinums, and he tells me the story of how he copped those shoes for literal peanuts. And if you compare what he got those shoes for and what he did to get those shoes to what they're worth now, my boy, no joke. You get me? Like amazing story. All in all, an amazing guest, one I hope to have back on the podcast once again, and a guy that I really vibe with. Very, very cool guy, genuine guy. Also, I hope you find the interview interesting, entertaining. And with all of that being said, I'm your boy PROZECH. You get me? This is Kids Chronicles. Yeah, boy. And our guest this week is Sneak Supply's Alex Mullins. Enjoy. Yes, people. Big PROZECH here again, Kids Chronicles, and today we are here with my boy Alex Mullins from Sneak Supply. How's it kicking, my bro?
Mate, everything's good, really good. How's you?
I'm all good, man. All the better for seeing you, my boy.
Absolutely. Every time, mate. It's always a pleasure.
Always good, man. Always good. So, yeah, full disclosure, we actually met at Creps City in Wembley in London. Yeah, so I was upstairs and me and producer Pete were fixing to do some content, and I saw a guy, I saw Alex and his friend sitting across the way, and your friend, what was your friend's name again? Shout him up.
Yeah, shout out Mike Baird, aka Mr. Tidy Tie-Dye.
Tie-dye, yeah. My guy, Mr. Tie-dye, yeah, he's got the tie-dye socks, yeah, so we'll shout him out as well. He was wearing the yellow Grateful Deads.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, I got to chat to this guy because this guy's moving mad.
Mate, he's got a nice
I think you
collection.
had the Chicago's on as well.
Yeah, I think the Lost and Founds were due to drop. Like they were like starting to surface and everything, and there was quite some hype around it. So I was like, go on, then I'll put the Chicago's on for now.
We put the Chicago's on, man, and that was drawing me as well because I had not got these had not come out by that time, so I definitely had to chat to these guys, and they were so welcoming. They took me down to their store. We had a really, really nice chat, and I said to him, obviously we're doing the podcast, I'd love to get you on. Please let the people know sort of who you are, what you do.
Started off around 12 years ago collecting shoes. Probably going on 13 years now, actually. 2 years ago, maybe three, I decided I want to get into this professionally. I want to work in the industry. Being from the Northeast, it's difficult because the culture is mainly down south, so breaking into the industry kind of meant, right, I'm going to have to move to London or a major city, and that wasn't on the agenda for me. So I decided to break into it myself by starting my own business. So I'm currently the CEO and founder of Sneak Supply. We are a shoe, accessories, cleaning, protection business. So we've got display crates, as you can see behind me. We've got cleaning kits, we've got protection spray, and we've got a lot more stuff on the way.
Love that, man. So another CEO in the place. Yeah, we like that. We like that. We're talking to CEOs and trying to get their perspective on the industry is really, really cool. And as we can see behind him, the guy's, he's got some major heat behind him. So we're
Oh,
definitely
this
going
is
to
just a
get
little
into that.
sneak
But you know
peek,
what?
like.
Oh, it's just a little, and I like that. I like the play on words, sneak peek. We like that. We love all of that. Yeah. But we're definitely going to get into that because you got some crazy stuff going on behind you. But before we do, obviously, let's take it all the way back to the beginning because, as you said, you started collecting kicks maybe 12 or 13 years ago. But I'm sure the love for shoes probably started a little bit earlier than that. So take me right back to the beginning, to the time where you sort of maybe didn't have all the kicks you wanted, or even before kicks was even a thing. What drew you to kicks? What was the shoe that said to you, bro, you've got to have me? I'm the one that's going to change the game for you.
It's difficult, because I like to kind of section it in two parts. There was a period of time where I liked trainers, and then there was a period of time when I started to collect sneakers. So that's how I differentiate the two. So my journey basically started quite late on, I guess. When I was 16 year old, I got a Christmas temp job in JD. I ended up staying there for like 6 years. But I got a Christmas temp job in JD, and it's the first time I got exposed to so many trainers, and you're in the stock room, you're seeing the new releases. I was like, oh, okay. And then I got the staff discount, and I started getting a wage. So I was like,
Come
okay,
on.
I like spending my money on trainers. And because I got the staff discount and, had no bills or anything, I was 16 years old. I could, buy two, three at a time. So I ended up amounting maybe a collection of like 20 pairs, 20, 30 pairs. And, it was nothing hyped. It was stuff straight from the shelf. Um, Typical Air Maxes, ones, 90s, 95s, Dunks as well at the time, actually, because they were big back then.
Really?
Again, yeah. Obviously, they chilled out for a little bit and came back with a vengeance a couple of years back. But yeah, at the time, Dunks was still huge. Um, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah, I love this. I'm going to start keeping them fresh. I'm going to start keeping them clean. And then the shoe that kind of transferred me over to sneakers was the Air Jordan 4 Fire Red at 2012 or 2013. And I can't remember how I actually discovered that
Strong
shoe.
shoe.
A strong shoe, mate, yeah. I can't remember how I discovered it, but then it introduced me to a new world of shoes, which was Jordans. Um, to be honest, I think it was probably through music. I'm a big hip hop head, and if you know hip hop, Jordans. It kind of comes as one.
Of course, yeah.
Um, so I started researching. I was like, okay, where do I get these other Jordans from? I didn't know the name of the shoe. I just called it a retro Jordan. I didn't know it was a Jordan 4 specifically. I didn't know the history behind it. So I started signing up to all these like websites like Sneaker News and Sneaker Calendars and stuff like that. All these American sites. And I set up news alerts and I created spreadsheets with latest releases, and you start getting the knowledge. And I think that's the key to being a sneakerhead. It's not necessarily the collection; it's the knowledge, behind the shoe and the history and the respect for it. Um, so yeah, once I fell in love with that part, it was game over. It was you get introduced to the whole new world, and then with that, you start seeing what's hyped, you start seeing what's limited, and you start seeing it as a collection as such, rather than just amounting a lot of trainers.
I respect it. Fire Red is obviously it's a classic, in terms of Jordans as well. And yeah, that JD hookup, I think has definitely been the catalyst for a lot of people getting
Oh,
that
for sure.
sneaker bug, getting that trainer bug. Because I know a lot of people that have started off their journey, whether it be in like Foot Locker, JD, or any of these other ones that are available, and then all of a sudden, because they have the access,
Yeah.
and then because they're just there, it's like, you know what, vicariously you just pick up this love for sneakers. And also, I think also you see like the people coming in looking for certain ones and realizing, oh, this one seems to be really, really popular. I wonder why that's popular. You do a bit of research, you realize, oh, there's something behind this one. There's a story.
Exactly.
There's something that's drawing people to it. And I think that's one of the key things about certain shoes is the marketing behind it, the story behind
Yeah.
it, that sort of like notoriety that draws people in and says, you know, this particular shoe is worth so much because of what happened in the shoe or around the shoe. So I think that's really, really cool. Obviously, you said you're from up north. So where exactly up north are you from?
In a nice town called Hartlepool. We're right on the coast. We've got the beach. For those who don't know, it's kind of near Middlesbrough area, Teesside.
Shout out Middlesbrough, Teesside, and obviously Hartlepool. We love the up north, man.
I
You get me? The
hope so.
representatives of the north.
Not many do.
Nah, we love them all, man. We love them all. You get me? Obviously, growing up in Hartlepool, uh, I grew up in London, so the vibe that I saw when I was growing up, the shoes that were popular down here growing up, I want to say like the Reebok Classics,
Mhm.
the Air Max ones, the Air Force ones, those sorts of things were really, really popular growing up. Alex, for yourself, growing up in Hartlepool, what were the shoes that
Oh.
you were seeing, hype or not hype? What were the shoes that you were seeing on feet growing
Wow.
up in
So
Hartlepool?
I've got to tell you, the culture is very, very different. I mean, up here, it's changing a little bit. You know, it started with N Clothing opening in Newcastle. You know, it kind of introduced a lot of people
Real
who
talk.
weren't aware of the culture, you know, to the culture. Um, you know, however, it's still massively grown. You know, it's still at its infancy. And oh God, yeah, me growing up, I think the majority of people, it was kind of 70s, 80s football classics. You know, as the full country be
Mm,
aware, the
like
Northeast,
Sambas,
yeah,
Gazelles.
exactly. You know, the
Yeah.
Northeast's huge on football, massive. And those football terrace
Mm.
type shoes, still to this day, is really big. I mean, me personally, I've never really been a fan. I don't own any and probably never will. But yeah, in terms of what I was seeing on foot on a day to day basis, Adidas 70s, 80s for sure.
I respect that. I'm definitely a fan when it comes to the football terrace issues, that sort of bloke core. Massive fan of the Gazelle. I've been for years. Um, and yeah, so it's just a different take. I think, and we'll get into this later. I think like Adidas had certain silhouettes um, that really identified with certain types of people. And I think when it comes to football, in definitely 70s, 80s, like they definitely had that on lock in terms of like that low
Oh,
profile
for sure.
sort of. It's a very, very sort of minimalistic type of shoe with good quality materials. And yeah, they've always been known for good materials. I just think the issue that they've had over the years is that once they built their relationship with Kanye, they sort of threw all their eggs in that basket and didn't continually invest in those other areas and continue to build those up individually as well, as silhouettes. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is kind of true. I see it. Adidas, I think to compete with Nike, need to really infiltrate the street wear type scene, you know. And Yeezy was a big
Mm,
way for them to do that. Um,
massively.
and I feel with Adidas, I feel like that isn't necessarily their lane. You know, I feel like their lane is the 70s, 80s, and they've got their loyal support there. And they've got people who have huge, like, 70s, 80s collections, you know, and obviously they do
Massive.
collaborations with football clubs and stuff like this. And we've just seen Gucci recently, you know, do gazelles and whatnot. So
Mm.
um, that's definitely a lane that they're really, really good at, and I think they should stick to. However, it doesn't quite get the coverage or the media attention that kind of Nike does when it comes to kind of
It's not
street
going to push the
classics,
needle.
you know?
Yeah,
So
100%.
they've got
It's
to do
never going to
both.
push the needle,
Not
bro.
exactly. So I
Yeah,
can't blame them for wanting to do
yeah.
both. Like you said, they can't necessarily neglect one for the other. But I don't think, besides Yeezy, I don't think they've cracked it yet for the street scene.
Mm.
There's been a couple of decent drops like the forums and stuff, and they've done some good collaborations to try and hype them up. And I do think that's a nice shoe. But again,
I agree. I
you
think
know,
the Forum is
they're
a
just
nice
so
shoe
far
as
off
well.
Nike for me.
No, I don't disagree in terms of market share, in terms of catalog in terms of marketing, I think they're way off. For a long
Yeah.
time, because those were the main two, I think a lot of people put them in some sort of competition. For anybody watching, it's never ever really been a competition, unfortunately, from Adidas' point of view. The market share has been a lot lower for a long time. But they had opportunities to grow that I think in certain times they took advantage of, but a lot of times they didn't. But yeah, let's wing our way into something else, because obviously you mentioned the fact that obviously you're from up north.
Yeah.
The focus isn't really on hype on the streets. You get me, and I respect that. How about at home? Was there a major sort of like, if you needed a pair of kicks, was your mum or your dad ready to sort of put the money down to get you a pair of shoes, or was shoes not really the main priority when you were growing up?
You know what it was for me? It wasn't the shoes, it was football boots. So every season, we go to
Respect it.
JJB Sports, rest in peace. Um, and we'd get we'd we'd get a new pair of, Predators or F50s and Total 90s, and yeah, my mum and dad were so good for that. They were really, they didn't have tons of money, yet they'd still try and go out and get me
Mm.
the best football boots. But then, growing up again, before I was kind of like teenager years, we'd wear Predators with a pair of jeans. Like we'd wear Predators with
See,
everything.
this is some bro. This is sometimes what I'm hearing, and I'm like, this is crazy to me. But to be fair, I get it, because if those are the baddest shoes in your collection, regardless of whether you're clicking and clacking down the road, bro, you gotta do what you
Oh,
gotta
mate,
do.
it'd be the Astro test. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't keep the blades on there. You
Ah,
know.
bro, I've seen it before. It's happened, bro. Oh, that's
Although
hilarious
you
to me.
can't
No,
beat the
no, the
sound of the
AstroTurfs
clicking
are
and
well.
clacking.
Nah, the clickety
Uh,
clack is nuts, bro. And then yeah, and even with the Astros as well, because then for a minute when we were growing up down there, like obviously I'm from an African household, so kicks was never the focus
yeah.
in my yard. Like honestly, like I had friends that had to rock Astro Turfs down here, and rocking Astro Turfs with jeans is the different
Oh, it's
level
bold.
of you attract a different level of hate. Like it's nuts, bro. It's
Oh
so
man.
nuts, man. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, did you ever have to like I'm gonna rattle off some names. I call these the unholy grails, because these were shoes that like some of my friends, some of us had to wear, like myself included, had to wear growing up. And I always like to find out, like, especially when people are from different areas, different cultures, whether you had to go through similar things. But I'll rattle off some names and see if any of them ring bells. We'll start off with the humble Plimsoll, then we'll move on to Gola,
Oh,
Ball Boy is a big one, High Tech, Dunlop, AVR, Ascot, Adore, Tracks. Do any of those
they
ring a
ring
bell
bells, mate, but they are very
or
rough
similar?
brands. I mean, oh, where do I start? I've been fortunate enough to avoid all of those brands that they've just listed. I mean,
Respect,
the
respect.
plimsolls, like there was a big wave at school once. I remember people were coming home from abroad with what was it they were called, flossies? I think it was, wasn't it? And they smelt like candy floss or
Flossies,
something.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Flossies definitely
Oh, they
did
had
their
a
thing for a
wave.
minute. I
Mate, people were
respect. Yeah,
creating
yeah,
businesses.
yeah, yeah.
I knew people who were flying out to Benidorm
100%.
with empty suitcases to buy them in bulk, to bring them home and just sell them like at school. Like,
Flossie's had a Flossie's
yeah,
had a moment, but definitely
yeah.
had a moment.
Although I can
Definitely had a
safely say
moment.
they never touched my feet, luckily. Because I know a lot of my mates are looking back on pictures from like the early 2000s, looking at them and thinking, "Ooh, I made some bad decisions with the cuff jeans and
Nah, the
nah, nah."
tough jeans. Nah, the Flossies had a moment. You can't deny. And the thing is, we're not here about to rewrite history. The Plimsolls and the Flossies, there was a few brands that definitely had a moment, and we have to respect that. Yeah, they came back into fashion for a
Madness.
second, and they're really popular because they were really affordable shoes. They didn't really have like too much in the way of design. So yeah, you could get them quite cheaply, and you could get like different colors to match your different outfits. So when you're younger, you're growing up, and you're trying to drip some way, you might be able to make it work with a flussy. You get me? So I respect the
And a
flussies.
nice Rihanna t-shirt.
Let's put yeah. We put all the respect on Flussie's name, man. I respect it. All right, bro. This part of the interview I like to refer to as the EST of KIC. And when I say EST, I mean the oldest, the newest, the rarest, most expensivest,
Ooh,
the
okay.
best in
I
your
like this.
collection. We're not about how big your collections are, but we're about how deep your connection is to the culture. But if you got a nice collection, we want to shine a light on it, man, and you got a lovely collection right behind you. So let's do our thing, you get me? So talk to me, what are the oldest pair of shoes you currently have in your collection?
Oldest pair. It's difficult because you end up throwing so many away when you wish you kept them. I think the oldest currently in my collection might be the Dizzy Rascal 90s. I think were they 2009? Was it?
Dizzy Rascal 90s. I wouldn't be able to tell you, man. But that sounds about right. The Dizzy Rascal 90s.
No, that's a shoe.
Wait. Nah, bro. Oi, oi, oi.
What year? You want to
What's
see the
his
shoes,
name?
by the way?
2009. If you have it to hand.
I've got a couple
Yeah, it's
behind.
2009. Well played, bro. Yeah, feel free, man.
There they are.
Big on the sneaker knowledge. Yeah, there you go, man. I
Tongue
think
in
it was
cheek,
what, tongue in
yeah. So
cheek,
it's
or
got the
what
tongue
was it?
there and then the cheek on the
Yeah,
other
there
one.
was.
And then
Yeah.
Dizzy himself on the
Yeah,
3M on the back. Man, that's a nice
bro.
shoe. That's
That
a nice
is
shoe.
such a hard shoe, and I have to imagine, like, obviously, I'm actually I'm on StockX at the moment, and
Oh, I
bro,
wouldn't even want to imagine.
that shoe, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, it's 2 racks.
It's
It's
ridiculous, man,
two
isn't it?
racks.
Like,
Definitely the high ones is crazy. That is a very, very nice piece. Like, not a shoe you hear about very often. Those sorts of collabs are really, really cool, man. Like that collab, the Skepta collabs, like those like early Nike sort of grime collabs are really, really cool. And it obviously highlighted how Nike really always got their finger on the pulse and always highlight.
oh,
They always
absolutely.
attach themselves to sort of like those sort of like young needle movers in the industry and stuff, man. Yeah, man, I respect that shoe so much, man. So what made you draw to that shoe, man? That is a very
And
interesting shoe.
you know what? It's just like I said, before I kind of got into sneakers, and I just collected trainers or whatever. I had a lot of trainers. It was Air Max 90s, it was Air Max 1s, it was Air Max 95s. I was a big Air Max fan. And I wouldn't say I'm an Air Max head, by any means, but I do like, the silhouettes that they have. And so 90,
It's
oh,
a
it
super
is,
hard
it
silhouette,
is.
but
And,
all of
and
them
they've
are.
got so many
Yeah.
classic colorways and collaborations, for each one
Mm.
of those mentioned. So yeah, it was more. I'll be honest. Grime has never really influenced me. I've always been US hip hop, so it won't mean as much to me as it might from you
Mm.
being from London. Um, I can
Mm.
imagine it
Mm.
means a lot more to the Southerners and people from London in that area, who kind of grew up on grime and whatnot. But regardless, it doesn't take away the history of that shoe for me. And regardless of
Huge.
that, even take away the history of it, take away how limited it is and rare to find. It's a nice looking shoe. Like
It's a very nice
this is
shoe.
something
It's a
people
very
overlook.
nice
Like
shoe.
people, I think when you're buying shoes, the story definitely gets taken into account. There's 100% times I've bought a shoe
Mm-hmm.
that I don't even necessarily like. However, because it's such a historic piece or it's got such a cool story, I want it in the collection just to have it for collector's sake. But alternatively, sometimes I don't care about the story at all or the hype behind it. It might have absolutely no hype, but I think it's a really nice looking shoe. And I think when you get the blend of the two,
I
then
respect
it's
that.
a must cop.
I think that's when it goes from, like, obviously there are levels when it comes to kicks, and I think everyone's got their criteria of what
Yeah.
they look for when they're looking for a shoe to add to their collection or whatever. But Like when you've got a mix of story plus the
Yeah.
shoes actually fire, then it becomes a higher echelon of want for the shoe. It's like some people might just like the shoe, some people might just like the story and think I'll get the shoe because of the story. But when you've got all together and you're just feeling the shoe and you're just feeling the vibe and it reminds you of a time and it's just like it's all just romantic and nostalgic and everything, bro, and it becomes that and it's like I gotta have it sort of territory, like a must cop, like you
Oh,
were saying. So
absolutely.
I respect it, man.
It's
Yeah.
only going to get better as we get
You
older as well.
don't see
Like,
that shoe.
so we've seen
Yeah,
these
yeah.
retros throughout the years. So, but we never grew up on that retro. You know, we didn't grow up on that shoe. There's people who might be in their 30s or 40s that kind of grew up and it's the classic story of, oh, my parents couldn't afford to buy me the Bread 11s or whatever, or like the Chicago ones when the first
Mhm.
dropped. But now I've got my own money, I can afford it. And they kind of reliving the childhood type thing, you know? So as we
This
get
is
older
it.
and we're seeing shoes that are now being retroed that we were introduced to the first time as kids and couldn't get. You know, it's kind of nice to see, and it makes you want to, even though you might already have the shoe, it
I
makes you want
love
to
it.
double up straight away.
100%. No, that the way that you've painted it is almost exactly how it was for me. Like I saw a lot of stuff when I was growing up that I think at the time I didn't really understand, but like yourself, massive fan of hip hop when I was growing up. So it was like you're seeing them and they're this is what the seeds are being sown in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
subconscious that these kicks are aspirational, these kicks represent a lifestyle, and these are things that you ultimately grow up wanting and not having access to them at an early age. I think was actually a blessing because I'm not trying to bankrupt my mom. You get me? And then it also, but like you can attest to this, Alex. Also it builds in you a desire to want to
of course it
achieve
does.
and grow and become successful, so you
Of course
can
it does.
access those things. You get me? So I think those things actually help. But yeah, when you see a shoe like the Dizzy Rascal 90, you're like, bro, that takes me back and I'm feeling that shoe. So that is a fantastic, and that is the first. That is a first on Kicks Chronicles.
Oh yeah, I
Never
love
had
it.
that shoe come up in conversation or seen on screen. So yeah, thank you very much for that. So let's bring it right the way back to today. Yeah, what is your most recent, your newest pair of
The newest
shoes?
pair of shoes, I haven't actually got in hand yet because they're on the way. So I don't know if this counts or not. However, I cannot wait for the shoe. It's the Setsubun Dunks, obviously the Japanese exclusive to celebrate the Japanese festival. And these were rumored for release in 20 when did I first see the images? 2021, like the back end of 2021, and it was rumored for release early 2022 because I think the Setsubun festival is February 5th every year, or it might be a weekend around there. And so it was rumored for then, and it didn't drop. And anyway, it finally dropped this month. So I managed to get in touch with someone who lives over there, and yeah, they're on the way to me, and I cannot wait.
Wait, I'm just checking online now because I have not heard of this shoe. Are
Yeah,
these
so a
the
lot of
brown
people are
and
calling them the
purple joints?
Viatex because it's pretty much the same colorway as the Viatech Air Max ones. It's a
This is
beautiful
a
shoe, man.
lovely shoe,
Beautiful shoe.
Alex. This is a lovely, and I mean that seems like a
Oh,
suede toe box
beautiful. The
with a
gold on
mini
the
check on
brown.
it, bro. They've went
So
in
nice,
on this
mate. I
shoe.
cannot wait.
Oh my days, this is very nice, bro. You are
I
pulling
wish I
out
had
some
them to show, man,
shoes
but it's
today.
not. I'm not
So
going to get them for another 2 weeks.
no, no, no. That's calm. I'll throw these up on screen, man. But these are shoes that, like, personally, like, yeah, the sets of one I've never heard of. You get me? I'm definitely a fan though because yeah, what they did with the materials, and I think the issue that I've had with Nike in recent times, especially with Dunks, because they went ham with Dunks and they started
Yeah,
mass producing them to the gills, and the quality just dipped like just went crazy. So I've limited my dunk buying
yeah,
to like dunk premiums anyway, like because the quality on the dunks was so terrible. But when you see a dunk like that and it's like, bro, and it's got a little story behind it,
yeah,
it's associated with a festival. It's like you know
exactly.
they're gonna come correct. So that's a very, very, very cool shoe. How did those
Oh,
shoes even come
I
on your
don't know,
radar,
mate. I'll
bro?
be honest. Like I say, I seen the images surface back end of 2021, and I didn't even know the story. I didn't even know the name of them. I seen them. I was like, I need to cop these. Like, I'll be honest. So I don't own the Viatech Air Max ones. I will one day, but I don't right now. But for me, that is one
Mm.
of my favorite colorways of all time, regardless of shoe. I think it's just perfect. Um, so when I seen it and straight away I thought the Viatex, I was like, okay, this is a must cop. Done the research, and figured out, okay, it's not got a confirmed release date. It's a Japanese exclusive. However, I know it's rumored to release around the time of the festival. It didn't, so I guess, okay, beginning of 2023 might do. Kept an eye on it all throughout the year. Still no confirmed date, and then all of a sudden they just dropped, and I seen it. So on my radar, I reached out to someone, and they're on the way. I needed to get them.
I respect it. I respect it. I love that, man. I love that. You see what you want and you go for it, man. That is cool. That is cool right there. So yeah, let's fling our way
Ooh.
into the rarest. What are the rarest shoes that you currently have in your collection, man? And yeah, you've got some stuff
You know
behind you,
what?
so
This is
yeah,
actually
just feel
quite an
free.
easy one. It's the one I always bring it to me. Where's it at? I always bring it with me when I go to the events, and it's the one that gets the most attention.
This is the one, bro. This is what I was trying to see,
Mate,
bro.
these right here.
Ah,
I don't care about hype, right? Hype aside,
crazy, bro.
take Kanye's name off them. Mass produce these to the high heavens. This would still be one of my favourite shoes of all time. I just think this is just a beautiful, beautiful shoe. I don't care what it's worth. I don't care if it's name.
The Air
Unbelievable.
Yeezy, Air Yeezy 2. The Air Yeezy 2. Without a doubt, Kanye's best
Ever,
ever
ever. I like
creation.
the one.
Without a
Including the
doubt.
Basters, the Louis V's. Mate, these are the best for me.
Yeah, the Jaspers, all of that, bro. The Yeezy 2s, the Air Yeezy 2s, yeah. Solars, like Red October, all like, bro, that that
Oh, so
silhouette
good.
is so hard,
So
and that's a
good.
beautiful colorway as well. Like, so, bro, yeah, yeah. I remember when we was at Wembley and I saw you had them on display, and I said, bro, yeah, this is a guy. This is a guy,
No, you
because you don't
don't.
even see them in real life very often, because obviously they were limited. They were limited when they came out. Obviously, the relationship ended not
Yeah.
soon after the two dropped. Um, so yeah, there was no restocks. Like, there's actually been a rumor that he was potentially going back to Nike. Although there's
Yeah.
now a rumor that he might be going back to Adidas, but we'll leave that one, we'll leave that one there. But like, for a moment, the idea of potentially getting a
Oh,
restock on Air
crazy.
Yeezy 2s was just like
Well,
all
I
up in
actually
my
heard,
mind, bro. It
I
was all
read
up in my mind. But
some
yeah,
years ago anyway that apparently Nike actually own the designs to Yeezy rather than Kanye. Obviously, they won't own the
do not
name, I don't
surprise
believe.
me.
But as far as I'm aware, when the rumors were surfacing a couple of years back, they can legally release those. I think it'd have to be in a different name, but the actual model itself they can re-release. But I don't think they will, and I think they'd be stupid too, man. Because unless Kanye is there, it's
Nah,
not the same shoe. But I
nah,
mean,
nah.
I can promise you now, if they did release it, I'd be buying
It's
every
not the
single
same
color,
shoe.
like regardless of Kanye.
I'll be getting every single one. I'll be getting every single one. Yeah, the Air Yeezy 2 means so much to me, man. Um, yeah, so yeah,
You
talk
know
to me, man.
what?
How did you get that
It's
shoe?
actually, I look
How
back
did you
now and
get
think it
that
was an
shoe?
absolute steal. I mean, so at the time, it was actually at a Crepe City event in London. They used to have the events at
We like that.
Brewery, I think it was called, place in London, and it was a huge venue,
Yeah, yeah,
and Adidas, Kanye had just collabed with Adidas. It was like the first or second year I'd been there, and it was the huge Yeezy Boost wave. You know, they were reselling for crazy amounts, and it introduced a ton of new people to the game and whatnot. Anyway, I had a pair of 750 Boosts. I can't remember which colour. I think it was the all black ones. Um, I think it was.
hard. Love that
And I had
shoe.
them in a small size, which was a bit more rare. So I think I had a 6.5 or something. And yeah, it is a really nice shoe. It's actually like very overlooked. I think still to this day you can wear that shoe. I think it's very nice.
Yeah,
Um, but anyway,
yeah,
I went
very
up to a
nice shoe.
guy and I had a list of shoes that I was wanting to buy, and the Yeezy twos were not on that list. I thought way out my price range, you know. Anyway, I had these 750s with me to trade. I already had my size in them. These were 6.5. So I was like, right, I'm going to either sell them or trade them towards a better shoe. What was actually on my radar was the Red Octobers. So that's my all time grail. Like the Red Octobers, like mate, I will own
Yeah,
them one day,
yeah,
I
same
promise
here.
you. But
I'm
but
100%
it's a
with
long
you.
way off.
Oh, same here, bro. Yeah, yeah. We'll,
Mate, we'll
bro. I'm
jump
with
straight back
you,
on here
bro.
when we
We're
both
both
get
getting
them,
those
man, for
shoes, man.
sure. So I was looking around, and there was actually a couple of pairs for sale, and I remember at the time, and it knocked me sick. There was a pair for like, what was it? It was like 4,000, 4,500 or something. And I look at that and I think like, what they're worth now,
Oh,
it's
bro.
just
That's
knocks me sick.
now.
But you know, you're not to know, are
Yeah,
you?
my days.
So anyway, I found this guy with some
Yeah,
plats. I was like, all right,
yeah.
second best. You know, I'll get the plats if I can't get the red Octobers. Oh,
Platinum,
beautiful,
the
mate,
pure platinums
beautiful.
are super hard.
Um,
Very, very cool.
of course they
Like
are.
all of them are really, but that is a very, and
Yeah,
it's also
it's a
wearable
lot
as
more
well.
wearable than
It's
the red
also
Octobers,
actually
to be fair.
wearable as well, which is cool.
Um, but yeah, so
Yeah,
I went up
yeah.
to this guy and I said, right, look, you know, how much you after? I said, I haven't got the cash, but I've got this if you're willing to trade. She was like, all right, I'll trade this plus, I think it was like 200 cash. So I paid retail for the 750 boosts, which was £250. I paid 200 cash on top of that. So I was like £450. So, mate, I got, I got Yeezy 2s for 450 quid.
Bro, that is the
Crazy.
steal
It is when
of
you
the
think of it this
literal
way.
century,
Like,
bro.
if you think of how the times have changed now,
Literally,
like the 750s, like went down in price, like in value, and the Air Yeezys ones and twos have just
that's
went up.
nuts.
You know, so yeah, I looked out there massively. Yeah, I'm pleased
No,
with
you
that one.
smashed it, bro. You absolutely smashed it. Those are the stories that I live
But that's the
for
old
on this
school way of
podcast, bro.
obtaining shoes.
Honestly,
It's not like,
when you
you know,
hear
it's
how
so
people,
easy to like, you
oh,
see these
this is
celebrities
it.
with
This
all
is
these
it.
mad collections, right? It doesn't necessarily mean they're a sneakerhead, you know? It's just they've got the cash. Like, for me, what you should do is before
Mm,
reselling's always been a thing, but before it was the only thing, you know, you'd buy a shoe that you don't necessarily want because you're going to trade it up or you're going to sell it so you can buy a better shoe. You know, it wasn't just cash in your pocket, it was to get the shoes that
this is
you
it.
can't afford to buy because they've already been and gone and they're worth a fortune.
This is it. No, you're 100% right, man. There was a method
Yeah,
to the movements. Like people were ready to line up to get a shoe that they really knew had a lot of value in it, even if they didn't like it, because they knew that they could use that to either
exactly.
part exchange, trade up, or add some money to get what they really want. Like that's a lot of the way that I've like thought about my collection when it comes to like getting shoes or whatever. Like a lot of times it's just a matter of like, oh, I'm gonna buy this shoe and I'm gonna get the money so I can use it to buy that shoe. A lot of times I'm just looking at retros, I'm looking at things that
Yeah, man.
I never had the opportunity to pick up, or things that I like now, you get me, like, so I definitely feel that vibe, man. And that is an amazing story,
Crazy,
man. 450 for a pair of Air Yeezy 2 pure
crazy.
platinums in the building. And just for everybody that doesn't know, those shoes are wet, almost on their way to three racks. Like those shoes, like I'm saying, and let's
Oh,
not
they're on
even
a
talk about
different
the red
planet.
Octobers, bro. You're talking like 7, 8, 10, depending on what size you're going for, man. But the Air Yeezy 2s in general, probably some of the most expensive and rarest pairs of shoes that you can definitely have in your collection. So very, very, very cool. Let's go from one end all the way to the other end. So in terms of rare, you've got like a super rare shoe. It's probably really expensive as well. What are your cheapest pair of shoes, bro?
Cheapest. Cheapest pair of shoes. I mean, the cheapest will be it'll be these, really. These like what, £80 retail or something?
Yeah,
Are
70,
they? I
80
can't
pound
remember.
retail.
Yeah. Um I mean it's gotta be them. The
Massive fan of
bases
those
are
shoes, bro.
Am I a massive fan? Or you are?
Yeah, I am, but are you?
When these first were rumoured, right, before they ever released, I thought they are absolutely vile. They're absolutely disgusting. Like people are literally just buying this because Kanye's name's on them. Like that's it. Like I thought no other excuse. They're absolutely shocking. Um and then I seen them drop and I was like, I was looking at it with one eye and I was like, nah, they're still shocking them. They're really bad. And then they dropped again. I was like, all right, they're not that bad, you know. And then they dropped again. I was like, I've got to get a pair of these, like, mate, because they're just
I
so
love it. I
comfortable. They're
love it.
so comfortable, and
Ah,
you know what
bro,
it
you
is?
can't compete. You can't
Oh, you
compete. The
can't.
comfort
Like
is
the
crazy.
perfect holiday shoe, man. And like when I tell you
This
the
is what I
looks,
say.
the perfect holiday shoe, like for traveling, for flying, for walking around. Um, but when I tell you the looks that you get on them with them on your feet, mate, like I say, I could wear the Easy 2 and no one would bat an eyelid because they don't know what they are. But I put them on my feet. the foam runners. Oh my days! Yeah, I'm getting stopped on the street. People ask, "Oh, what are
mate.
those? What are those?" Like, it's a love or hate it shoe. You know, it's there's no in
It's
between.
definitely a Marmite shoe. Like
Yeah,
like I think for me, and I've said it before on this podcast, I'm the comfort king. When it comes to comfort, I'll seek it with all my heart. You get me? Like,
yeah,
and that was one of the reasons why I really had an affinity with the 350s and the 350 V2s, man, because
so
of the
comfy,
boost technology. It was so bouncy and it was like walking on a cloud,
so
right? The
comfy.
whole combination with the Prime Net as well, like it
Oh,
just made sense. When he started sort of delving into sort of like the mule territory and the sort of like sliders and all that, like I struggled with the sliders because the sliders had a really weird shape. My foot didn't really fit into it properly. But when he dropped these, and I have to agree with you, initially I was like, this guy's lost it. Right. But what I realized quite quickly, and I have to give myself credit, what I realized quite quickly is in this game, it's about feelings. It's about how you make people feel. Right. And regardless of whether people like it or don't, they have an opinion on it. And this is
yeah.
the thing that Kanye did that I thought was really amazing. Like you design a shoe, right, that is affordable, although
Oh, very
limited,
affordable.
right?
Yeah,
Affordable, limited, right? You say you want everyone to have it. Like it's sustainable in terms of it's made of algae and EVA, so it's really, really good. It's better for the environment. I should say not really, really good, but better for the environment. And then you design it to look like an alien shoe, right?
that's what
Something
everyone
that's just
calls
come
it.
out,
Yeah, yeah,
bro. It's something that just came out of outer space, right? So you make your most affordable shoe look the weirdest, so that the whole world is wearing these crazy weird shoes, and it automatically goes to the top of everyone's timeline because it's a nuts looking shoe. And
yeah.
I just thought,
Exactly.
bro, you just made people feel like anyone could come up with a sort of vanilla middle of the road shoe that they just want
Yeah,
everyone to wear
yeah,
and be accessible. He's like, no, I want everyone to wear it and I want everyone to look mad.
yeah. Mate, I love that. We need people like that, though.
And he did it.
Yeah, and you look at like people like him and Virgil, like people who aren't scared to push the boundaries. Like you say, if the creative world were just all vanilla and just try to sit on the fence and make something that everyone liked, like it'd be a boring place. Like, you know,
100%.
we need people pushing the boundaries and putting crazy silhouettes out like that. You know, and at the end of the day, if it didn't work and everyone absolutely hated it, just don't do it again. But people fell
This
in
is
love with
it.
it. So
Yeah, no, I absolutely love them. Like, and I couldn't agree with you more. I even put a TikTok out like a few months ago when I was on holiday, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the best holiday shoe. Like, you don't need nothing else.
nah,
Like for traveling, for going into the beach, jumping in and out of the pool, like it literally covers every single base. You give them a quick
yeah,
wipe,
jumping in the
and
pool.
you're good to go. And the funny thing is, yeah, and this is just me. I don't know if it's everybody else. Yeah, I stick them on. I don't even care about whether it's raining. I don't care whether it's. I just stick them on and I just keep it. I go to pick up the baby in them. I don't care. You get me? Because I'm thinking, you know what? That's comfort. I'm gonna jump out the car, jump out. I don't care, man. Because my feet are. I'm an absolute heaven
Oh,
with these
mate,
shoes on my feet, man. So I'm loving it.
one thing I can't do though, and I don't even know how this is a debate, right? And I don't know what your feelings are on it, but I see this debate of socks or no socks, and I just don't agree with people not wearing socks with these things. I just can't agree with it.
Oh no! So for me, like for the most part, it sucks.
It has to
Not
be
because I
socks,
want to,
man.
not because I want to, but because my feet are shocking. Right? Number two. But number two, I reckon it should be socks. In certain circumstances, and it should be maybe. I think if you're using them on holiday, right, and you're like potentially going in the pool or whatever, or you're on the sand or whatever, it doesn't really make sense for you to have socks on as well, in my opinion, right? But if I'm traveling in them, I'm definitely rocking
It
socks.
has to be
And if I'm
socks.
walking around in the UK, I'm definitely rocking socks. I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to subject anybody to seeing my heels and that. So
I'm just
it's yeah,
thinking,
they're
like,
definitely socks
surely
are a vibe.
you're just asking for blisters if you wear these things with no socks.
Yeah, it is
You're just
because
asking
yeah,
for it.
it does rub a yeah, it does rub a little bit and stuff, man. But I hear what you're saying, man. That's just a stronger debate. People in the comments, let us know what you are saying, man. Foam runners, yeah, socks or no
I better
socks,
not
man.
see
Let's
anybody
find out what the
saying bare
people are
feet,
saying.
man. I swear. You don't deserve to own these shoes if you're wearing bare feet.
Ah, that's so sick, man. But yeah, nice. That's hard. And would you say that they were probably your most comfortable shoes, or do you have a rival?
You know what, right? I think it's unfair to use them because they are kind of like a. I think they're in the same category as slide. If we're talking, let's just talk shoes, right? Because I think it's more of a fair
Yeah.
argument. I've got two rivals, and I think one is the Ultra Boost. You could maybe say the 350 as well with that, but I'm going to say the Ultra Boost. And I think the
Yeah,
rival
I'm
to
massive
that,
fan of the Ultra Boost.
so comfy. And I think the rival to that is, if anyone knows this, the Stefan Janoski Maxes. So it's technically an SB, I believe, although I can't see how anyone could skate in
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
But they've got the flying it upper, and like it's like an Air Max sole, but with like a breathe sole as well, like a free runner sole. Sorry, like a free run two.
What did you
Uh,
just say that it's got like a Nike free sole, like the
yeah, like the
split
front
sole?
end of it. Yeah, the split sole from like the free
Yes.
run.
Yeah, I remember seeing these. The definitely the Stefan Janoskis, I think. When I was probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I definitely see these because um I think it's part of the SB family, although I agree. I don't know necessarily
I
if
don't
these
see
are
how
a
you can skate in
skateboarding
them.
shoe.
Yeah,
I think they're more of a lifestyle arm of that
of course
of
they
that
are.
particular band. But I know Stefan Janoski is definitely part of that sort of SB family. But yeah, they definitely have a very, very comfy look. Because yeah, it's definitely got I can see the flying it upper. And the Night Free, and I was a big Night Free fan, so I could see the split sole as well at the front.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
man,
mate, it's like
I
a
don't hate
slipper.
it still.
Honestly,
Yeah, I
I,
don't
I
hate that at
genuinely
all.
think that might just come ahead of the Ultra Boost slightly. Like
Really, I might have to
honestly,
get involved and test it out, man.
I
Because
promise you
I've
that's a
been I've
slipper.
been riding I've been riding for the Ultra Boost for years.
Oh
Like
mate, I love
Ultra
it.
Boost
I
one,
love the
two.
Ultra Boost.
I love the Ultra Boost, man. I'm a big fan of Ultra Boost. And to be honest, yeah, there's another thing where I think Adidas definitely had a moment with the Ultra Boost where there was a lot of
100%.
hype around it. They were doing great collabs, and I think I don't really know where it went wrong because they kept on reiterating, and maybe it was that. Maybe it was just
That's
too
what I
many
didn't like
iterations. I
though.
think they were at like, yeah, I think maybe it was just too many iterations in the
Like they
end.
were doing the
I
Ultra
think they were
Boost
at like
1, 2,
22.
3, and like
Yeah, I
every
think they
one
went
day
to
went
20
down.
something.
I thought it's getting worse and worse. It was kind
Yeah,
of the
yeah, it's
Vapor
a
Max with
shame.
Nike. Like I thought the Vapor Max when they first dropped, I thought this is a great silhouette. Like they can do a lot of work with this. And if I'm not mistaken, they were actually
I know
dropping that
exactly
to
what you're
rival
gonna
the
say.
Ultra Boost. But then
Yeah,
they create so many reiterations of this shoe, and I'm just like, without laces, and then like with the Tune Plus upper, and I'm just like, nah, they're ruining this silhouette for
bro.
me. You know?
With the Vapor Max, yeah, you are preaching to the choir, my boy. When they started doing the Vapor Max pluses and they started throwing on the TN upper
Ah,
and started throwing on different uppers on that sole, I was like, just get me the hell out of
yeah,
here.
just give
How
me the
did we get
OG
here?
Vapor Max,
How
the
did we
one.
get here
Mm-hmm.
with these Frankensteiner kicks, bro? These mad shoes, bro. Like throwing bits and pieces. Nah, bro. Just miss me with that whole thing. So yeah, I'm 100% with you, man. I knew that's what you were gonna say, and I'm 100% with you, man. I was literally because I was writing down a list of things that I dislike about kicks because I ask people questions about kicks and what they like, what they don't like, and I never really took the time to think what do I like, what do I don't like, right?
Mm.
And that was one of the first things I wrote down, man. Frankensteiner silhouettes, man. Those people that just throw different soles on, and it's Nike are the number one perpetrators of this, man.
Oh
Just throwing
yeah,
a random sole with a random upper, and people buy it, and it's
yeah,
the maddest thing. I
yeah.
don't get it, but each to their own, as we say. You just
You
keep
know
it
what though?
going.
When
But
it's done well, it's done very well. I mean, you look at the Waterspoons, for example. My word, that is one of my
see,
favorite shoes
okay,
of
that
all
is
time.
seamless. That is seamless.
Unbelievable.
The Sean Witherspoon 97 ones, yeah, that is a seamless shoe. You would never know. Anybody looking from the outside in would never know that those are two shoes.
Oh
Right,
no
that's a
way!
different sole and that's a
It
different
sits
upper.
perfectly.
You get the 97 upper and you got the Air Max one sole, right? Nobody's ever gonna see that because it flows so seamlessly. You stick right a Vapor Max sole and a TN, people are gonna know.
I know, yeah, I know.
People are gonna know.
No, I agree.
People are
I agree
gonna
with that.
know.
There's been some bad ones over the years, man. Some really bad
Terrible
ones.
ones, man. So talk to me a little bit about Sneak Supply.
Yeah, man, of course. So yeah, Sneak Supply was birthed just over 2 years ago. Just because of the simple fact that I had, I had hundreds of shoes just piled on top of each other, just in the original boxes, toppling over, getting destroyed. I'd never ever wear any of them because I couldn't be bothered to get the ones from the bottom. Have to carry the pile off the top and find the ones on the bottom, and then all of a sudden you find a pair and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize I owned this pair. Like, and it was just a
Nuts.
mess. And I know so many people will have that same issue. And so I was like, okay, I need to come up with something here. And so, yeah, I came up with the storage crates because I'd seen them before, but I'd only seen the view from behind. And like, you couldn't see, you had a high top, like a Jordan 1, you couldn't stand them upright. You had to put them on the sides. And it just,
You had to put them on the
yeah,
side. Yeah, I
and
remember
it didn't
those.
look great. And it's not, the most healthy way to store the shoes. So I was like, okay, we need a side storage one, where you can actually see them on display because, we spend a lot of money on these shoes and at the end of the day, they're appreciating assets. So some people look at these
100%.
as investments. So, you want to show them off, you want to be proud of them, but you also don't want to destroy them. I mean, I know you've got yours on shelving there. You've probably got the issue of having to dust them once a month.
Yeah, this
It's
is
a
it. Yeah,
pain.
yeah.
And then obviously you've got the risk of the sun damaging one of them and stuff like that. So, because it was also something I considered, do I just get shelving? And I was like, when I worked in JD and I seen how the right feet on display would look and when they've been out on display for a while and you put them with the left shoe, they were two completely different shoes. And I was like,
Different.
these
Yeah,
shoes are too
this. Yeah.
expensive to be, and too, they're worth so much to me personally. I can't afford to destroy them like that. So I came up with this, and with that, I was like, okay, we've got a brand here. We developed a nice community, and a lot of people are really liking the product, which is great to see. And people kind of want more from us. So like, okay, what can we do to help people next? We'll do a cleaning kit because I don't know if you have the same problem, but when you use conventional cleaning kits where you've got the solution and you pour it in your bowl, and I hated it. I'd sit down, it'd take a full hour of your day, if not more. You'd get this dirty bowl of water that you have to replenish like 4 or 5 times. You'd have water everywhere, and it's just such a mess. And in the end, I wouldn't even bother cleaning them. I'd put them back. I was like, there has to be an easy way to do this. So I went to a few different manufacturers, worked on this recipe, got a great solution together. And rather than have to sit down with your bowl of water and whatnot, it's just a foam dispenser. So you spray it directly on the shoes, give it a scrub, and you clean it within seconds. It's good to go. So that was kind of
Wow.
how the business was born. It was trying to bring premium products to market that are very easy and simple to use, but it's tackling a common problem that I faced as a sneakerhead, and I know that a lot of other sneakerheads will face the same issues. So anyway, fast forward a couple of years' time, we've now just dropped our second version of the crates with the LED lights inside because that was a big ask from
Like that.
people. Again, it's a difficult process because light damages shoes. So we had to go through a lot of different samples and a lot of testing to ensure that the technology that we put in there doesn't harm the shoes in any way. Otherwise, it'd be
Wow.
pointless. I
Wow.
wouldn't release a product that does
Of
that.
course. Yeah.
So yeah, so that was quite a big one that I was excited for. And we've got other products on the way. So we've got some sneaker wipes dropping next week. We do a box of 30 for £12, so it's really affordable and it's high performance. And the what I'm
Like that.
most excited for is next month we're dropping what is going to be the highest performance shoe protection spray on the market. And we've worked on this formula for
Wow.
2 years. We've used other brands
It's
as a
bold
benchmark.
statements, Alex. Bold statements out here,
Mate,
bro. Bold
heavy
statements.
statements. And once it releases, honestly, I ask anyone to try and contest it and show a better protection spray because we use these different brands as the benchmark. There's some great protection sprays
Of
out there,
course.
great protection sprays that work very well. So it wasn't necessarily an issue where they're not performing well enough, but there's always room for improvement. So we were never
100%.
just going to bring a product to market that's just as good as others. It's pointless because they're just, why would they come to us? So we had to bring the best. And after 2 years of research, development, and a lot of time and money spent into just perfecting this, we finally cracked the formula. So yeah, if you don't believe me, go out and buy one. They're only £12 when they release. So go out, buy one, try it for yourself. And if it doesn't work as good, I'll hold my hands up. But I'm confident it will.
Do you know, I like the confidence, and I certainly, I'm definitely gonna be getting involved, man. Because
Appreciate that.
we need to support each other, man, and definitely anything out here that makes cleaning shoes easier. Because I agree,
Oh, it's a pain.
the whole thing. I've got I use my I've got some cleaning stuff behind me. Like literally, it's more of a display because the process of cleaning shoes is
It
so
is.
long
It
to me.
is.
Like I actually like really really hate it. And what I try to do is literally as soon as I come back in, just give it a quick wipe and then put it back so like it never builds up with dirt
Yeah.
or whatever. But that easily gets missed out and you end up having a dirty shoe and then you have to spend time cleaning it. Like something that you could use on the go would definitely be a vibe still. So I definitely think that will definitely work out. And looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to that. Big things on the horizon. So in terms of the business, like you've got products dropping. What are the rest of the plans for the business in terms of 2023? And what are you aiming to do with this business? What are your plans overall
We're
for
going to
respect that?
continue bringing new products to market, with a big focus on tech products. So every quarter we're going to release
Interesting.
a new tech product, which other brands don't seem to be, doing, other major brands. Because it's something that's missing in shoes. You don't see it too often,
Bro, can we just clarify this because that is very interesting to me. A tech product. Now, without saying anything commercially sensitive, because I know some of the stuff is in the works. Can you give me an example potentially of what a sneaker-based tech product is?
So obviously our first tech product was the LED crates. The
LED.
the
Okay,
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
second product that we're looking to bring in a couple of months, without giving too much away, because we're going to be the only brand in Europe and America with this product. It's going to make cleaning a lot easier and a lot less manual. That's all I can
Do you
say.
know what, man? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. My mind is spinning,
It's
G.
a
My
big
mind is
one.
spinning.
It's a
I
big one.
like
It's
it.
exciting.
I like it. I like it. And do you know what? Another thing that I like, and one of the reasons why I enjoy speaking to people with businesses, first and foremost, I love business, I love entrepreneurship, and I support what you're doing. I 100%. Like I'm here for
Appreciate
it
that, man.
100%. I love innovation, man. I love people looking at issues, looking at problems, and saying to you know what, how can we improve this? How can we make it better? And this is what you're doing, man. So this is definitely a vibe. I'm definitely feeling it, man. So people, make sure to keep an eye out on Sneak Supply, man. Keep an eye out on what they're doing because it seems like they're about to do some massive things in the game. You get me? So all right. Don't know if you've seen any of these before, but I like to ask people a question that I refer to as desert island kicks. And I just want to understand your
Okay.
mind, Alex. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw this to you. You can tell me what you're saying. So
hmm
imagine you're stranded on a desert island and you've got
Okay.
2 pairs of shoes with you, right? You don't know how you got there, and you don't know what the situation is gonna be like in terms of whether you're gonna get rescued.
Okay.
But you got 2 pairs of kicks with you, right? What 2 pairs of shoes do you have with you, and why?
And can I pick any in the world?
Any?
Okay. Am I allowed socks?
Yeah, you can have socks.
Okay.
Socks don't count. You can have
Unlimited
socks.
socks.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got
Okay.
socks.
That makes it that makes a difference. Okay. It will probably be the foam runners would be one because
Strong
I
start.
just think comfort and probably durability. I can't see them falling apart or anything like that. Um, and
Versatile
yeah, I can
shoe.
go in the sand, I go in the water. So I think it'd be them. I mean, they might melt in the sun, depending on the heat, but we pretend they won't. The next one would probably be maybe the Paris Dunks, just in case I ever get off. I can sell them for like 100 grand. I'll just keep them.
For real. Restart your
Yeah,
life.
exactly. As soon as I'm off the island, I've got a house. So I'll keep them boxed up, nice and safe. Hopefully, they're still in a usable condition, and I'll sell them when I get off.
Yeah, not too much sun damage. Yeah,
Yeah,
keep them
yeah.
boxed up.
I'll I'll take some of the Sneak Supply crates with me. Keep in one of them.
Oh my days. No, I hear that, man. Do you know what? That mindset is like, obviously you're an entrepreneur. You're thinking of the long term. You're thinking of the long game. You're thinking, when I get off this island, yeah, I need to set my whole life up
Yeah,
again because obviously, yeah, I'm broke because I'm on this desert island. So I need to set my life up again. I need a shoe that I can invest. Yes. That's really, really smart, man. Definitely a different take than has been on
right.
the show before. So yeah, no, we like that. We like that. Different vibes. All right, bro. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna do some quick fires.
Yeah, let's bring
Right.
it.
I'm gonna set these up, but what I want to let you know is that when I say quick fire, I need you to just
Oh,
give it
I'm
from
not
your
good at
chest.
these.
You get me? Like just
Let's
just
go.
fire it out. You get me? I don't read fast, but I want these answers to come fast.
Right,
You get me?
okay.
Like
I'll try.
so yeah. I trust you, bro. And if there's anything mad that comes up, I might come back to it. But yeah, we'll keep it quick firing for the time being, right? Okay, so are you ready to start?
Yeah, let's
Alex?
go.
All right, broski. In 3, 2, 1. We're starting with a big one. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
New Balance or Adidas?
Adidas, I think.
All right, bro. Can you wear Nike and Adidas together? Yes or no?
Absolutely not.
What is your Jordan number?
1.
YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok?
Instagram.
Your favorite collaboration?
Quick. Nike, Kanye.
Respect it. Vans or Converse?
Vans.
Laces or slip-ons?
Laces.
Default laces are you doing patterns with your laces?
Default.
Are you doing custom designs on your shoes or are you straight factory settings?
Factory settings.
Socks or barefoot?
Socks all day.
I knew the answer to that one. That was calm. Comfort or style?
Ooh. If you asked me 10 years ago, style, now comfort.
I respect it. Fresh and clean or beaten and
Fresh
battered?
and clean all day.
This is massive, right? Washing machine or hand wash your shoes?
Mate, hand wash. I seen your interview with George. Absolutely not, man. Get them things out of the washing machine.
Oh, he's an absolute rascal.
Take the time. If you don't want to take the time and do it yourself, pay someone to do it, right? Keep them things out of the washing machine. I've seen some horror stories.
I love it.
Some horror stories.
Unbelievable stories.
No, like,
yeah, man.
Midsoles peeling away from the upper. Like,
this
Air
is
Force
it, man.
coming out like a banana. No, out of the washing machine.
Nah, no washing machines out here, man. Terrible. George, you're still getting hate from. Well, George said he wants all the smoke, so let's keep bringing it. I'm gonna change his mind soon, man. All right, bro. Lows, mids, or highs?
Oh, definitely not mids. High.
Respect it. Triple blacks or white and whites?
White and whites.
And with that, let's give him a clap. He's completed his quick fires, man.
That was good.
Nothing crazy in there. Nothing crazy in there, bro. Nothing crazy in there. And I respect, all the answers, man. You seem to, all came from the hip and, all decent answers, man. Nothing nuts in there,
Some
man.
of them were tough,
and I respect what you said.
Like,
yeah.
There's reasons behind you choose them, man. Like, that Adidas New Balance one was, like, I know I said I don't own a New Balance. I own a lot of Adidas, but it's just like, if it's a different type of question, like if you're talking like Adidas 70s, 80s or New Balance, I'd pick New Balance all day. But I currently have to factor in Yeezys to Adidas, I guess.
And you have
boosts,
this is it. You have to consider that. Yeah, I respect it. I feel like because that's a new question that I've only literally just started asking, and the reason that I introduced it is because I feel for that second spot, like New Balance have, like in terms of market share, New Balance have taken.
I think they deserve it. I think they deserve it.
Yeah. So I think in terms of a rivalry, not necessarily a rivalry, but essentially a comparison, I think it's a fairer comparison today.
Yeah,
When you talk about New Balance and Adidas, so I thought I'd throw it in and see what the vibe is, man. But yeah,
that's a tough one.
The answer was good. I'm glad it caused you to think a little bit, man. And yeah, I have to respect what you said. I mean, yeah, the washing machine hand wash thing. I knew you were gonna go in on that.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
I knew you were gonna
no
go
way.
in
I'd
on
just be
that.
selling washing machines rather than cleaning kits if that
For
was
real.
the case, you know.
I'm like, bro, the guy sells cleaning kits as he's gonna go with the washing machine. But yeah, there are other reasons, man. But yeah, before I let you go, Alex, and once again, thank you so much, man, for just spending a bit of time, man, and getting this together,
No,
man.
thanks
I
for having
really,
us,
really
man.
appreciate
Love
it.
chatting shoes.
I wanted to get your take on the whole term sneakerhead. I just wanted to understand from your perspective what you feel that term sneakerhead actually means to you.
See, I actually love this question because I feel like these days it means something different to what it did back in the day. Um, and that would have, meant something different to back in other people's day. Um, I think the sneaker culture right now has lost sight of why we collect shoes. I think it's so money orientated, value orientated, and I feel like the shoes that get the biggest shock factor is what they're going for on StockX. Whereas it shouldn't be that. It should be, the story behind the shoe. It should be, um, it doesn't necessarily mean the story behind the shoe itself. It could be the story of how you obtained that shoe. If you camped out all
Yeah,
night for it, if you
yeah,
traded up for it, if you worked and saved for months for the shoe. I don't think the size of a collection determines a sneakerhead. I feel like there's a lot of gatekeepers, and I don't like that. I feel some people feel like unless they've got a 100 pair plus collection, then only can they be called a sneakerhead. Man, you can have 12 shoes, and be called a sneakerhead. There's no limit, that you need. I think as long as you respect the heritage of the culture, you know what it is. You love shoes. You talk about shoes. You're passionate about shoes. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have the best collection. I think it's all a mindset, and it's not money orientated. It's not, you know, buying a shoe because it's got the most hyped or it's worth the most. It's buying a shoe because you love that shoe for whatever reason. And I think it's such a subjective term. And I think you can be a self-defined sneakerhead. You don't need to be approved by these requirements to be. Oh, now I can be called a sneakerhead because I've got this many shoes. Or I've got this shoe. No, like
love
when
it,
you feel that you're a
love it.
sneakerhead, when you're that involved in the culture, you are a sneakerhead.
100% agree, my bro. 100% agree. I couldn't put it any better. And yeah, I think what you said in terms of gatekeepers, what you said in terms of sort of you deciding yourself and defining yourself, I
Absolutely.
think that's the key right there. And with all of that being said, Alex of Sneak Supply, Hartlepool, you get me?
That's the one.
I'm saying the representative of the North. Are you a sneakerhead?
Absolutely. 100%.
Certified.
Love it.
100% Kicks Chronicles certified sneakerhead in the game with the Air Yeezy 2s just on his shoulder like an angel. Chunky donkeys on the flank just doing their thing, bruv. Oi, oi, oi. Bruv, just moving mad, you get me? Phone posit, Supremes,
Oh,
bruv, he's
mate.
doing nut stuff. He's doing crazy stuff, man. Certified, you get me? And what you said is absolutely true. And I say it myself. It's not about collections. It's about heart. It's about love. It's about passion.
100%.
You get
That's
me,
exactly
man?
what it is.
It's about that. I'm saying, like, I don't care who's got the biggest collection. You got a collection of 3-5. You got a collection of 50, a million, bro. I celebrate you wherever stage
100%.
you are. I celebrate you with whatever stage you are. I don't have a massive collection. I like what I like. I'm saying you've got a great collection. Other people that may be on this podcast may not have the vastest collections. Who cares about how big your collection is? It's about your connection to the
Exactly,
culture.
mate.
It's about your heart. You get me? Like, so nah, 100% certified. Kicks Chronicles Sneakerhead. Alex Mullins in the building. Sneak Supply in the building. Hartlepool in the building. We're doing it big. You get me, man? I have to appreciate you one more time, man, for being on, man. Can you let the people know? Because a million people are gonna watch this.
Love it.
Yeah, a million people are going to watch this. Can you let the people know how they can get in contact, how they can support what you're doing, how they can purchase your wares, bro? I'm saying, let the people
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. So sneak_supply is our Instagram handle. That's supply without the U. So it's spelled SPPLY. www.sneaksupply.com. Go check out our brand new website that we've just launched last week. Really excited about. You can find us on Amazon, and soon you can find us in retailers up and down the UK. We've got big things for this year.
We love that, man. We love that. People, make sure to go check out Sneak Supply online and support them, what they're doing, because yeah, I know from the moment that I met him, could tell Alex is a genuine guy, and yeah, we got some plans for the future as well,
100%
man. I'm definitely feeling the
excited.
vibes. So yeah, definitely excited for what we've got in store. My people, this has been another episode of Kicks Chronicles. Today's guest, Alex Mullins, Sneak Supply, has been amazing, and I just want to thank you for joining us today. I've been your boy PROZECH. Once again, thank you, and until I see you, man, down the roads, stay
Thank you so
blessed.
much, man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Kicks Chronicles. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, and all that good stuff. And remember, full video version is available on YouTube, audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.